Cleopatra, the last queen of Egypt, was not Egyptian, but Greek. Yes, you heard it right. Let's unravel the mystery behind this intriguing assertion by diving into the turbulent waters of history. Cleopatra was born into the Ptolemaic dynasty, a Greek family that seized control over Egypt in the chaotic aftermath of Alexander the Great's death. A vigorous and ambitious dynasty, the Ptolemies were descendants of one of Alexander's generals, Ptolemy, who claimed Egypt as his share of the vast empire. The Ptolemies, despite ruling Egypt, held steadfastly onto their Greek customs and language. They were proud Greeks, still considering themselves more Hellenistic than Egyptian. They lived in a world of Greek gods, Greek philosophy, and Greek literature. In fact, they were so dedicated to their Greek roots that they isolated themselves from the native Egyptians, ruling from the magnificent city of Alexandria, a Greek metropolis on the Egyptian coast. Cleopatra, the last of this Greek dynasty, was no exception. Born to Ptolemy XIV, she was raised in a world steeped in Greek culture. She grew up speaking Greek and was educated by Greek tutors. Though she was the first of her dynasty to learn the Egyptian language, her upbringing was predominantly Greek. It's a common misconception to think of Cleopatra as an Egyptian queen, draped in traditional Egyptian garb, ruling over a land of pyramids and sphinxes. But the reality is, she was a Greek queen, ruling an Egyptian kingdom, navigating a world of Greek and Egyptian politics, culture, and power. So why does this matter? Well, it's crucial to understand that Cleopatra's Greek heritage shaped her rule, her decisions, and her legacy. It influenced her relationships with powerful Roman leaders like Julius Caesar and Mark Antony, and ultimately, it played a significant role in her tragic end. As the last of the Ptolemaic rulers, Cleopatra was more Greek than Egyptian. This truth may feel surprising, but it's a testament to the fascinating complexity of history and the enduring intrigue of one of its most iconic figures. Cleopatra was a woman of letters, a queen who valued knowledge, and her education was purely Greek. As a child of the Ptolemaic dynasty, she was steeped in Greek culture, philosophy, and the arts from a young age. It's said that her tutors were of the highest caliber, and they instilled in her a deep respect for the intellectual traditions of Greece. Cleopatra's education was not just a matter of rote learning. She was trained to think, to debate, to reason. The famed Library of Alexandria was at her disposal, a treasure trove of knowledge that she leveraged to her advantage. She was a scholar of the works of Homer and Euripides, and it's believed she was well versed in medicine and astronomy. Her education was comprehensive, designed to mold her into a ruler who could navigate the complexities of governance and diplomacy. Now let's talk about her language skills. Cleopatra was fluent in Greek, the lingua franca of her time. But her linguistic prowess didn't stop there. She was reputedly the first Ptolemaic ruler to learn Egyptian, and she was conversant in several other languages as well. This fluency allowed her to communicate directly with her subjects, which was a rarity among Hellenistic rulers. Cleopatra's mastery of Greek also gave her a distinct advantage in negotiations and political maneuverings. She could hold her own in discussions with Greek scholars, diplomats, and generals. She could charm and persuade, and she knew how to use her words to her advantage. But her education was not just about gaining power. It was about understanding the world, understanding her place in it, and using that understanding to govern wisely and justly. She saw herself as a bridge between Greek and Egyptian cultures, and she used her education to help forge that connection. So, while Cleopatra's rule is often shrouded in tales of romance and tragedy, it's important to remember the role her Greek education played in shaping her as a queen. Her wisdom, her diplomatic skills, her cultural understanding, these were all products of her Greek schooling. So Cleopatra's education and language were a testament to her Greek heritage. Cleopatra's rule, contrary to popular belief, was heavily influenced by her Greek heritage. Let's dive into it, shall we? Cleopatra was the last of the Ptolemaic rulers, a dynasty that descended from Ptolemy the Soter, a general under Alexander the Great. This Greek lineage was instrumental in shaping her reign. She was, after all, a Hellenistic ruler of an Egyptian kingdom. Her fluency in Greek, as well as her understanding of Greek politics and culture, enabled her to navigate the complex world of politics. She cleverly used this knowledge to her advantage, employing Greek political strategies to maintain control over Egypt. For instance, she often presented herself as the reincarnation of the Greek goddess Isis, which not only legitimized her reign in the eyes of her Greek and Egyptian subjects, but also helped her maintain a divine status. Her Greek heritage also had a profound influence on the infrastructure of Egypt. Cleopatra embarked on ambitious building projects that reflected Greek architectural styles. One of her most notable projects was the rebuilding of the Library of Alexandria. a beacon of Hellenistic knowledge and culture. The library was not just a collection of scrolls, but a symbol of Greek intellectual prowess. In rebuilding it, Cleopatra was reaffirming her Greek heritage and its influence over Egypt. Moreover, Cleopatra's court was a blend of Egyptian and Greek customs. She wore Egyptian clothing and participated in Egyptian religious rituals, yet her court was run according to Greek political traditions. This fusion of cultures created a unique blend that was distinctly Cleopatran. Cleopatra's reign was a testament to her ability to balance her Greek heritage with her Egyptian throne. She was a Greek queen of an Egyptian realm, and through her, the Hellenistic world left its mark on Egypt. So, in the grand scheme of things, Cleopatra's Greek heritage was not just in her blood, but it was also evident in her rule. This iconic queen, often remembered for her beauty and her tragic love affairs, was in fact a shrewd and capable ruler who used her Greek heritage as a tool to govern and influence Egypt. Cleopatra's relationships with Rome's most powerful men, Julius Caesar and Mark Antony, were also colored by her Greek heritage. This statement opens an intriguing chapter in the life of Cleopatra, a chapter where her Greek roots intertwined with the power structures of Rome. Intrinsically, Cleopatra was more Greek than Egyptian. Her lineage traced back to Ptolemy I, a Macedonian Greek general who served under Alexander the Great and later became the ruler of Egypt. This Greek heritage was a significant part of her identity, and it played a substantial role in shaping her relationships with the titans of Rome. Julius Caesar, the first Roman to have a significant connection with Cleopatra, was not only a military genius but also a man of culture. His profound knowledge of Greek language and culture was well known. It's likely that this shared cultural background drew him closer to Cleopatra, creating a bond that went beyond mere political alliance. Their relationship was one of mutual respect and admiration, with Cleopatra's Greek heritage acting as a catalyst. A few years after Caesar's assassination, Cleopatra formed a romantic and political alliance with another Roman powerhouse, Mark Antony. Antony, like Caesar, was well versed in the Greek language and had a deep appreciation for Greek culture. This mutual understanding and admiration of Greek culture created a strong bond between them, which became a cornerstone of their alliance. Antony even chose to live in Alexandria, immersing himself in the Greek-Egyptian culture that Cleopatra represented. In both relationships, Cleopatra's Greek heritage played a substantial role. It created a common ground, a shared language, and a mutual appreciation of culture. It also provided a bridge between the Egyptian queen and the Roman leaders, enabling them to communicate, connect, and form alliances that were instrumental in shaping the course of history. Cleopatra's Greek heritage was a significant factor in her relationships with Rome's most powerful men. It was the thread that wove together the lives of these historical figures, creating a tapestry rich in culture, power, and intrigue. Scene script: Cleopatra's death marked the end of the Ptolemaic dynasty and the Greek rule in Egypt, but her Greek heritage lived on. The circumstances of Cleopatra's death, like much of her life, remain shrouded in mystery and speculation. The most popular narrative asserts that she committed suicide by allowing an asp, a symbol of divine royalty, to bite her. This dramatic end was fitting for a queen who lived her life on a grand scale. Her death in 30 BC marked the end of the Ptolemaic dynasty, a Greek family that had ruled Egypt for nearly 300 years. With her passing, Egypt became a province of the Roman Empire, marking the end of the Hellenistic period. But Cleopatra's death was more than just the end of a dynasty. It was the closing of an era in which Greek influence had permeated Egypt, shaping its culture, language, and governance. Cleopatra herself was a product of this fusion, embodying the blend of Greek and Egyptian cultures. She was a Greek queen who embraced Egyptian traditions, becoming a symbol of unity and power, and it's this Greek heritage that has continued to influence modern perceptions of her. Cleopatra is often depicted as a Greek woman, with the intellect and cunning that were the hallmarks of Greek philosophy and education. Her story is told through the lens of Greek tragedy, a woman of power brought low by her own passions. Even in her death, she embodies the Greek ideal of a noble end, choosing to die on her own terms rather than be paraded as a trophy by the Romans. Today, Cleopatra remains a fascinating figure, a symbol of power, beauty, and intelligence. Her Greek heritage, intertwined with her Egyptian rule, has shaped the narrative of her life and continues to influence our understanding of this remarkable woman. Cleopatra's Greek heritage is an integral part of her legacy, shaping our understanding of this iconic queen even today.